That ceiling would be something that would put us into the bread. That turns out to be the case. That is the launch.
This STD? Yes, sir. IPR 0063 is QC to close.
As the launch directors here have been talking about, the situation will be, and they did expect us to be right on the edge for either a good forecast or a forecast that would prevent us from launching.
What we got going on right now, Steve Ferguson, our Deputy Chief of the Astronaut Office, is actually doing approaches in the shuttle training airplane to the runway here to see what the real weather is, and if it's the decision will be made at 4:30, and it depends on what Steve Ferguson says during his last approach to the runway out here.
And with no other technical issues being worked, the eyes are on the sky.
Go ahead, Peabody.
See whether we get a chance to break in the weather.
We're ready set to launch.
Copy that, thank you.
Step 11.4 with non-performance.
Copy.
So it's T-minus 9 minutes in holding. This is shuttle launch control.
It was just too dynamic. We got feeling good there at one point, and then it filled back in, and we just were not comfortable with launching the space shuttle tonight. So we're going to go into the scrub. Thank you all for the effort you all put in tonight. We'll see you back again tomorrow night, and we hope the weather's a little bit better.
Our launch window tomorrow will open at 4:14 a.m. We hope to see you back with us again. This is the nature of the launch business, but once again, we're very glad that you're with us tonight. We hope for better weather tomorrow night and another chance to launch the STS-130 mission. So please drive carefully. We hope to see you tomorrow night. Thank you for coming in.
Mila, let's go. STM is go. Safety console. Safety console, let's go. SPE. SPE is go. LRD. LRD is go. SRO. SRO is go.
Yay!
And CDR. CDR is go. And launch director MTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time. Okay, I copy that, Jeff. Thanks. I'll do my poll this time. KC Chief Processing Engineer, verify no constraints to launch. No constraints. Thank you, Steve. Payload Launch Manager. Mike, Space Station teams go. Good. Thank you, Bill. KC Safety and Mission Assurance. KC Safety and Mission Assurance, we go, Mike. Thank you, Mark. Range weather.
Weather has no constraints for launch.
Thank you, Kathy. And Ops Manager.
Let's see, Mike. Looks like we have acceptable weather conditions around the world tonight for what we need. Mission management team doesn't have any other issues on the plate, so you are go to launch Endeavour in 03.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yay!
Endeavour Launch Director, air to ground 1.
Launch Director, this is Endeavour. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, Zambo, looks like the weather came together tonight. The vehicle's in great shape, so it's time to go fly. Wish you good luck, Godspeed, and we'll see you back here in about 2 weeks.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks to the great team that got Tranquility, Cupola, and Endeavour to this point. And thanks also to the team that got us ready to bring Node 3 and Cupola to life. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. It's time to go fly.
I'll do that. Have a great ride. And with that, you are clear to launch Endeavour. Copy that. Thank you.
And with that poll from the NASA Test Director and our Launch Director, Mike Leinbach, we are looking go for launch at 4:14 this morning.
They'll probably show the 9-minute.
T-minus 3 minutes and counting.
How many of y'all are ready for launch?
It's tradition on my 3, 2, 1. We got to do a go Endeavour. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go Endeavour!
Authorization of the external tank liquid oxygen.
OTC, clear caution warning memory, verify no unexpected errors.
Alright, look.
T-minus 2 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
That weather's opened up so nicely, we're going to see this thing all the way up to probably SRB 7.
The cap is being slowly retracted away from the top of the external tank.
Unexpected errors.
Copy that, thank you.
Caution warning system has been cleared. No issues there.
Close and lock your visors and initiate O2 flow.
That's a good sign, too.
Endeavour has visors and O2 phone work.
Copy.
Only thing holding his shuttle on the pad now are 8 bolts and 1 umbilical cord.
Watch the horizon over there. Careful.
Tank about to be brought up to flight pressure. A beautiful view down the length of the external fuel tank. You can see the forward attach point for the orbiter to the tank there.
The hydrogen replenish on the external tank is now being stopped. We are 90 seconds away from the launch of Space Shuttle Endeavour.
I'm good at
Whoa!
What'd he say?
Go Endeavour.
No, he said something else.
I couldn't hear.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, the lights are out.
Just prior to launch, you'll see what we call sparklers that will light up behind the shuttle there.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
That will ignite any excess gas that may be present before we start the engine.
T-minus 50 seconds.
Coming up on the GLS handover.
Internal electricity. Endeavour is now being powered by its 3 onboard fuel cells. We're coming up on auto sequence start. T-minus 31 seconds and counting. Endeavour's 5 main onboard computers now have primary control of all the spacecraft's critical functions, including control of the countdown from here on out.
Onboard count is with the shuttle crew. They can't do anything on the ground now.
T-minus 16 seconds. The sound suppression water system has been activated.
Engines will start at 6 seconds before liftoff.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We have to go 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
Look at that.
NASA's final space station first compartment that brings a bay window view to our celestial backyard.
Whoa. Whoa.
This is Mission Control Houston. Endeavour's roll maneuver is complete. Now head down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. 28 seconds into the flight.
There comes the noise.
100 miles per hour, 1.3 miles in altitude, and 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, according to onboard computers. Endeavour's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Endeavour, go and throttle up.
Endeavour copies, go and throttle up.
The 3 main engines on board are throttling back up, now 1 minute 10 seconds in the flight. Endeavour flying at 1,800 miles per hour, 10 miles in altitude, 11.5 miles downrange. At liftoff, the fully fueled shuttle, boosters, and external tank weighed 4.5 million pounds. The total thrust at launch was 6,425,000 pounds. All systems continue to function well. 3 good main engines, 3 good power generating fuel cells, and 3 good auxiliary power units for the hydraulic system.
Oh, look.
Now see if we see the 3 dots.
Burnout and separation of the solid rocket boosters. Combined, the twin boosters provide 5.3 million pounds of thrust to propel the orbiter towards space. Endeavour's performance is as expected thus far. 2 minutes 19 seconds into the flight, Endeavour flying at 3,700 miles per hour, 35 miles in altitude, and 49 miles downrange. Propulsion officer confirms that the orbital maneuvering system engines are firing, providing Endeavour with its extra boost to orbit.
Wait till there's solid rocket separation. That should be, they'll break
Endeavour,
it.
2 engine Zaragoza.
Copy, 2 engine Zaragoza.
That means they can lose one of their engines and still make it to that emergency site in Spain.
Oh, man.
Now 3 minutes and 4 seconds into the flight, that call indicating Endeavour could reach Zaragoza in the event of a single engine failure. However, all 3 main engines continue to operate well. Endeavour's computer showing it flying at 4,600 miles per hour, 50 miles in altitude, and 98 miles downrange.
You'll hear a call negative return here pretty soon, which means he cannot come back to Kennedy in an emergency. Got to go across the ocean.
So where is he? I wonder how far they are from here now.
I don't know. That is deep.
Endeavour, negative return.
Copy, negative return.
Bye-bye.
4 minutes and 3 seconds into the flight, Endeavour is now flying too high and too fast to return to the Kennedy Space Center and the shuttle landing facility in the event of an engine failure. Endeavour is flying at 6,000 miles per hour, 63 miles in altitude, and 180 miles downrange.
Isn't that amazing? 180 miles away. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we certainly want to invite each and every one of you back because you brought this thing good luck. So every time we launch, we want the same crowd, the same place, the same time, okay?
I cannot believe you can still see it. I can't even believe it.
Yeah. Right.
Over 200 miles away now, and you can still see them burning.
Wow.
Where's everybody think they're going? That's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Endeavour continuing on track.
Endeavour, you are pressed to ATO.
Copy, press to ATO.
That means they can lose an engine and still make it to orbit.
See if you can see when it breaks into three.
Lower than
Up,
planned,
it's
but
gone.
a safe orbit on 2 engines should one fail, but all 3 engines are still performing well, as are the auxiliary power units and fuel cells.
Finally out of sight at about 220 miles, so that was a good one.
That's about one of the clearest night launches I've ever seen, John.
How about that?
Endeavour,
Thank you.
single engine, op 3.
Endeavour, copy, single engine, op 3.
They haven't, the solid rockets
5
haven't
minutes, 50
separated yet.
seconds into the flight.
She'll tell you.
Conduct a transatlantic
there we go.
abort landing on 1 engine should 2 fail at this point.
Oh, you can still see it.
Yeah.
Probably getting near 200 miles.
She's back in view now, John. You can see her
Endeavour,
heading
single engine, Zaragoza.
downrange.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Copy, single engine, Zaragoza.
Now he's out of sight
That
again.
means they can lose 2 engines and still make it to Spain. Everything's getting better and better.
You are pressed to MECO.
Press the main engine cutoff, so we're getting ready for the cutoff of those 3 main engines at 8 minutes and 30
22
seconds.
seconds
Where?
in the flight. Endeavour can reach
No, I
the
don't
planned
see it.
orbit
Yeah,
on
you
2
can.
engines.
You can.
All 3
Where?
engines continue to operate well.
Right over the light. The very far left light that you would see. You can't see because the light's back. You see it?
No.
Very, 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 barely.
Endeavour, Houston, your shutdown plan is nominal. Go for the +X, go for the pitch maneuver.
Nominal shutdown, go for the +X, go for the pitch.
Endeavour flying at 12,000 miles per hour now.
You couldn't really see the shuttle just left.
Endeavour, single engine press.
Copy, single engine press.
7 minutes, 8 seconds in the flight. Endeavour can reach its planned orbit on 1 engine should 2 fail. However, all 3 still performing well.
And on the screen there, you can see the
Endeavour is now
blooming of those
64
flames from the main
miles,
engines, getting ready for main engine
606 miles
cutoff and
downrange.
separation from the external fuel tank.
The 3 main engines are now throttling down to maintain structural limits on the orbiter as it passes or approaches loads near 3 times gravity.
The throttle's coming back to maintain a 3G limit on the vehicle.